all rise for the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
It appears to me that this will be part of the
Okay.
CSBG.
Well, Charlie, you moved on us. So, trying to get a different angle, right? Okay. All right.
Cut out our attorney.
No, you can do that.
That's just going to get a close-up on Rick, so.
Profile shot, Rick.
I know.
My view of you.
Let's get more of Steve.
Profile shot for a mug shot.
There you go.
That's right.
So we always start the meeting out talking about the employee of the month, and this month it's Tricia Letterman, who's the deputy treasurer, and she was nominated really by Bob Hand, who works in the building maintenance department. So, I mean, I'll just read what he wrote. Always answers a question in a timely fashion. Always willing to stop what she's doing to get information or answer any questions when she can. Has information at a moment's request, and it's amazing how she does her job so well. I mean, Tricia's been a big asset, to the overall village. Part of the reason why we were able to actually merge the treasurer position and the village clerk position to and Steve's position as the village administrator is because of Pat and the job that she does in that department. So. She really is a big asset and works very hard. So congratulations to Pat for being the employee of the month for November of 2015. We have one or two public comment. Anybody from the public would like to make comment? Okay. All right. Okay. So we're going to close the public comment. We have some board presentation here. Dean Matthews on the fire marshal vehicle.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees.
That package in their book, so just so you know.
They do?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Just here tonight to ask your permission to purchase a new fire marshal vehicle. It's a 2015 Chevy 2500 Silverado. Currently, we have 3 vehicles that are shown in your packet. One's a fire investigation van, Tahoe, and then the Explorer. The Explorer's no longer on the road as per essential garage. And what we're trying to accomplish here is getting the new Chevy pickup that's we're looking at would ultimately replace the van. The van would go to potentially the DPW, who's been looking for something of that type, which would get daily use rather than limited use on a regular basis. And then the truck would take the equipment from the van, put it into the pickup, which would have a cap and tool slide in the back with the necessary emergency lighting stuff on it. So that truck then would be able to be used on a daily basis for regular work and the fire investigation equipment that comes up when necessary. And it will be in one truck and on hand at any time, where the Tahoe has limited equipment in it. So it'd be a good asset for that purposes. Luckily, the fire investigation stuff hopefully stays low, and it's not necessary. But what that would do is bring the fire marshal's office down to just 2 trucks, and then because they're being used, it's a nice addition.
So would you say the van what was going to happen to the van?
The van is, there was some preliminary discussions about maybe we could trade it in or whatnot, but then there was some discussion with Gary Gillespie about a potential immediate need for something of that nature. That truck, the way it's outfitted with all the compartments and setting it up for one of their divisions for...
The Parks Department has a very strong interest in that for all the irrigation equipment and everything else. And they felt it was, rather than going and purchasing that, to trade this in with the 2008 and the amount of mileage that's on it,
Yeah.
give better value to retain it within the village.
Yeah, I don't
Do they
think it
really
has a
need
lot
it?
of miles, does
They
it?
can use it,
No,
yes.
it's only
They really do.
1,300.
Okay.
1,300.
Luckily, it's, you know, it's for that need when there is a fire and
Right.
it comes out, it's got more engine hours than it does mileage, but in the end, it's been fortunate that it's sat, but it doesn't get the daily use out of it. And by sitting there, you know, it costs some time and maintenance on some equipment just from being there.
Right.
And it'd be a great asset to have that equipment and the one truck at the scene, should we respond to it or whatever, to having to worry about going and get it.
So we take your vehicle, give it to Fire Marshal Swenson, so rotate it down to him, which would then replace the one that was just decommissioned.
That's correct.
And then you get the new 2500, which is set up, which is a lot of what I understand now, is basically a lot of what fire service are using now. This is a more popular choice of this type of vehicle than traditional Tahoes and things, because they're very versatile.
The Tahoe is a great truck, you know, as well for the regular response and limited equipment. But if we go to a reasonable situation, you need to bring everything in there between, you know, generators, lights, and
Right,
all that
right.
stuff. And I think we can make it all the usable stuff that's on a regular basis at fire scenes and stuff can fit into that truck and be in one package.
Okay. So, I mean, me personally, before I voted on something like this, you know, I'd like to know, like, what Parks Department's gonna do with this vehicle, what their fleet looks like right there.
Okay.
What are they gonna pull out of service? And evaluate what they have.
Mhm.
Because I hate to just add another vehicle on without having some kind of plan to remove stuff
Okay.
off. So that's really what the way I'm thinking about it. I don't know about you guys, what your guys' thoughts are.
Well, just on the flip side, do you have an estimated trade-in value? Did they give you before, did you ever get a number from them?
Yeah, the
Decided to trade it
conservative
instead?
number was only 15,000, which is,
Okay.
the truck when we purchased
Right,
it was
yeah.
32,000.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to know that it's going to the Parks Department, that there's a
Mhm.
specific use for it, but again, I don't want to have another
Right.
vehicle that's.
Well, actually, you know, buildings went after it too for the electricians.
Okay.
But Gary felt it would be better used in parks, but I can get you a list of, you know,
I just want to
what's gonna
see
go.
where it's going to go, what kind of vehicles it's going to replace.
Mhm. Okay.
Obviously, it's, okay.
So just get a breakdown of what that would be, where that would definitely go, some definitive answer of what's gonna happen with that. Or the trade-in or to them,
Yeah,
and then go from there.
okay.
We won't hold you up that long, Dean.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, do you want to let him go out to bid in the meantime?
Let's go out to bid and find out
Yeah.
what the cost is.
And then we can decide whether we're going to trade it in or,
And then we
We'll
can
trade
figure
it
out
in.
yeah, so, so what we'll do is, I'll make a motion to authorize it, us to go out to bid on a 2015 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD specs as per spec.
There's two. It's one for the truck and one for the emergency lighting
Okay.
equipment.
Well,
Two
we'll do
different
two
packages.
separate resolutions.
Okay.
And so we'll go out to bid for that. Make a motion to do that. I need a second.
second,
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
And I make a motion to go out for the 2015 emergency vehicle lighting and equipment specifications in accordance with the specs listed here.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we'll see what the costs are, and then we'll figure out the vehicle use and where it's gonna be
Yeah,
inserted and stuff, so.
I appreciate you letting it go. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
and see what happens when it
I
comes up.
agree, if it's a $15,000 trade-in and a $30,000 vehicle, it's got 1,300 miles on it, you know, we can figure out how we can pull something off the road
We should keep it.
and do that, so,
Right.
okay?
Okay.
All right, good.
Appreciate
Okay.
your time. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have public hearings on here, so need to,
We got the public hearing,
yeah, so I make a motion to open the public hearing on the community development program.
second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Steve, you want to just give us a rundown?
Sure.
So,
Well, this is the Community Development Block Grant that we get from Suffolk County. It's an annual program that we do. It's basically a pass-through directly to the organizations that apply for it. The village does not sponsor any of these funds, and by law, we're required to hold a public hearing, the first meeting in November, for the 2016 grant.
do we know what the grant amount is this year for Suffolk County?
It's about 17,000, I believe, somewhere in that range.
It's
It's come down quite a bit.
Yeah, it's off from the years in
Yeah.
past, so,
Each year gets a little,
yeah.
Keeps
Okay.
getting less each year.
Okay, so we have three groups that want to come up and talk to us here. So the Human Resources of Hamptons.
Hello, my name's Hilton Crosby. I'm the new Director of Human Resources of the Hamptons. Mary Ann is teaching me the ropes. You all know who she is, so I'm the new Mary Ann, I guess.
Okay.
This is my first time doing this, so maybe y'all could help me out a little bit, but I'm pretty assured that what we're doing is the correct thing, and hopefully you guys will give us the money, because it is to feed the seniors that are on fixed income or have trouble leaving the house, specifically like in the wintertime. Every Wednesday, we do a lot of organizations call it Meals on Wheels. We show up and give a meal and assistance to the elderly in Southampton Village. And I think it's a very viable program. I've had my relatives on similar programs in the past, and it was a huge help for the families, for the individuals specifically. And we serve, I think it's 40 seniors at the moment that are either disabled or in very low or to low income that live in the village.
Great. Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah,
Yes, I do.
Here.
Okay.
There's 7 of them. There's
Oh,
7 up there.
nice.
And we're gonna get sponsored for them.
Yes.
They-
Okay.
We get paid for you jumping in the water.
We get paid for jumping in the water, and I've seen photographs and I've heard that you jump in the water.
I've
But
been known to do that a couple times.
I want to ask if you mind
Do you
if
have
I
any
make a
pressure put
photo
on you to
montage
continue
of your
this program?
Go ahead.
various accomplishments and outfits.
I don't know if they're accomplishments, but they're outfits, so.
Call it an accomplishment.
They're
You got in the cold
accomplished.
water. So I'll be doing
Oh,
it
yeah.
with you this year.
Okay.
Mary Ann's
All right,
suckering out.
good,
So.
good.
All right. Any other questions for us or anything?
Now talk about the polar bear plunge, when it is, yeah, this is your.
Okay.
go
Polar
ahead.
Bear Plunge is October.
No.
I'm sorry,
No.
December 12th. One thing I do need to mention about the plunge is this year for the first time we're incorporating a walk. So those that do not want to jump in the chilly water, or those that are unable to jump in the chilly water but still would like to get sponsored by Human Resources to help us to get funding for the food pantry, the clothing closet, and all the various activities that we do in the community. Just want to know that that's available. And basically, we're going to meet at Cooper's Beach Pavilion, show up at 9:30. The plunge starts at 10. The walk will be at some point where they're in.
9 o'clock, I believe.
9 o'clock is the walk? Okay, so show up at 9. And we're going to have coffee, food, various local vendors and folks around. And it'll be a very good time. Everybody dress up, look like a fool. It makes it warmer.
very simply put.
So,
Okay, there you go.
See that?
There you go.
That's a new Mary
He's the
Ann.
new guy. The new Mary Ann.
He wanted the truck.
Yeah,
I don't know, I
tell
just
you
asked
what,
if we could
yeah.
ask for a truck.
There you go.
It's like, no, because we used to use a van to pick people up for medical appointments, so.
No,
we
it's,
don't
no,
have
it's good.
Just what, I mean, I met you at Rotary, and you said a little about yourself. You want to tell, the new Tutbury about yourself, how you ended up here?
Sure. It's kind of a long story, but I'll try to make it short. I left Alabama when I was 17 to go to military
Yeah, I
school.
was gonna say, it's not Irish. You thought he was Irish. I knew you
No,
thought
no,
that,
he's
yeah.
not. I heard this
I knew it was
I hope
southern.
I'm not breaking the microphone.
Because you're from Alabama, I'm not gonna hold that against you.
I won't hold
You
it
know where
against
he's
you that
from?
y'all live up here.
I'm
He's
from
from Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Oh, there you go.
So,
Okay, then I don't
Another
know.
southern boy.
Yeah.
You did win. Are we gonna win? I'm a great Alabama fan.
Again?
So,
I won't hold it against you.
so I left in 17, went to military school, went to Hampton-Sydney College thereafter. After Hampton-Sydney, went back to graduate school for clinical psychology. I practiced with in an outpatient and group setting scenario in Georgia, and then I will move to Brooklyn where my sister lives, and she was renovating her home, so I was able to help with those renovations and live rent-free until I found a job. And then I was a behavioral therapist at YI Network for 7 years, and then I broke my foot and my hand, and then I met Mary Final Borgo, who took care of me, and then I was ready to leave New York finally, and then I fell in love, and now we're married, and I'm here.
That's how you would say something like a Polish name.
So,
Cool.
but, all right, good. Well, we're happy to have you and stuff, so good.
Happy to be here.
So, all right.
Good addition.
Would you like to give me your hat?
Yeah.
Sure. I didn't know I could
Okay.
walk up there, but
Yeah,
I'll pass
just
them
hand them to
around.
Steve and he'll pass them around. Yeah, there you go. Good.
You got it.
Okay.
Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
Chris. Okay, all right.
Pleasure
Thanks.
to see you again.
Okay, Southampton Daycare. Come on up.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing?
Good. My name is Rachel Kopt. I've been the director at Southampton Daycare for 5 years now. And I wanted to thank you for your continued support throughout the years. The daycare was founded in 1985 by Kathleen Davis, and it was moved to its permanent location on David White's Lane, which has been there for 12 years now, and I'm proud to be part of that. We provide a safe, nurturing environment for the children of the working families of our community, and many of the local working families struggle financially. Daycare can cost over more than $12,000 a year per child, so that's many of our families are single working parents that attend and, have more than one job just to get by. So with the grant, it helps us with our scholarship fund and with educational tools. It helps with purchasing supplies. And I just wanted to thank you again, for continuing to take us on board, and we really appreciate it.
How many students do you have? How many?
We have 32 students right now. Actually, our enrollment is real. We're doing really good right now.
Good.
Yeah, so we have a high enrollment, and we have a fundraiser going on. We sell pies and cakes. We have jewelry sales, cute little things like that. Yeah, so yeah,
All right.
that's us.
Any other questions?
Does she have any hats for us?
I don't have any hats. I wish I did.
We can buy a pie though, right? So.
Exactly. We are selling pies. Yes.
From Alabama?
Good.
Am I?
Yeah.
No, I'm from here, right in Southampton. But yes, thank you again. And we,
Yeah, Rachel, thanks for coming.
Thank you
and
so much,
everything you
everyone.
do, though. It's great, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the African American Museum there. Come on up, Brenda.
Hate this part, but it's not.
It's okay.
Alrighty, I am the executive director of the Southampton African American Museum. And I told Steve, he said he's gonna hit me in the back of the head if I get too long, but I felt like it was important to really talk about the beginning of the museum and what we have accomplished and et cetera, and where we are right now, some exciting things that just has happened for us. And basically, the origin of our endeavors was to share the rich culture and extraordinary contributions made to the African Americans here on Long Island and throughout the country. And the building was actually an old juke joint back in the 40s and 50s, and it was primarily a community gathering place for the African Americans of the East End during that time. And on October 4th, 2006, and you have a little packet inside, the building for the museum was acquired through the Town of Southampton Community Preservation Funds. And on December 14, 2010, the Village Historical Preservation Board approved 245 North Sea Road, where the building is, as the first African-American historical landmark in the village of Southampton. Was very, very proud of that accomplishment. And moving forward, we have collaborated with a lot of different organizations. As you can see, I'm not going to read everything here, but we have done a lot of art exhibits. And our first art exhibit was actually at the town of Southampton, and it was for Black History Month. And then when our good mayor heard that I was doing it there, he said, excuse me, why aren't you doing this at the village? So that's when we came over to do it for the village, and really, really been exciting over the years. I think it's been probably maybe 8 years now, maybe 9 years since we've been doing this. And it's really been exciting because we work with a lot of the students, and part of our mission is education. And we started off with the high school students. They would have bring art over here. We'd have the exhibit in the village hall. But then we kind of geared toward the elementary school. And Letitia Ellis and Mrs. Stabelic has been the teachers who've been instrumental in implementing it in their curriculum. So during Black History Month, I guess between December or January, whatever time span, they have the students look up African-American famous people, inventors, et cetera, and they actually do research, and they do either a written report or some sort of drawing, and we have an exhibit out in the village hall. And over the years, I've watched them. It's usually one of the highlights of the day, because they actually end up having a field trip over here to meet the mayor.
And his assistant.
And it's really, really fun. And also, what's also great, their parents come. And usually this room is packed out. And they're not coming here to argue about, some house that was destroyed or whatever. They're coming here to support their children. And it's really, like I said, to see them actually do their research and do their written reports, they're really getting educated about, African-American history, which unfortunately is not all together, taught in the school. Some of the stuff they're learning, they don't get in the school. But the last couple of years has been really, really exciting to me, because usually Letitia and Mrs. Stabelic run the program. The last few years, the kids have run the entire program by themselves. They sit up there where you guys are sitting, and they do their thing, and it's just amazing, amazing, amazing to see them. So that's one of the highlights. But moving forward, and during this time, I started collaborating with a lot of local professionals, trying to deal with the museum and how it needed to be designed. And so we had a lot of volunteers like Sia Sammy, Tim Rumpf, and getting the preliminary plans together to restore the building. And also, I like to say our mission statement is to promote an understanding and appreciation of African-American culture by creating programs that will preserve the past, encourage learning, and enhance the life of the community. The Southampton African-American Museum will research and collect local history, promote media events, create exhibits, and community celebrations. And with that, too, we have done a lot of mainly what we have done, too, is we've done film festivals. And this year was our 10th, believe it or not, 10th annual film festival. And I'd just like to highlight some of the great things we've had. We had, usually Thursday nights, we have usually a 4-day event. And Thursday night, we usually gear it to the young people. And we like to bring the young people in and have a film so we can have a discussion with them. Something usually is a highlight of something that's happened, current event. And just a couple of them, we had the films at Central Park 5 by Ken Burns and Sarah Burns. And we actually were able to get one of the Central Park 5s to our event, which was at Yusef Salaam, and it was really fantastic. It was such a great conversation the students had with him, and he talked about, his survival and et cetera, how he went and what he went through. And then another highlight we had during a film festival last year was actually Ruby Dee's grandson, Muta Ali, actually came and presented a film about his grandmother, who we called Grand Ruby. And it was really a really great film that he showed about her and her history. A lot of things that was revealed during his interview with her, a lot of things that we never even knew about. So it was really good. It was a good turnout. And a lot of this has a lot to do with also people coming from all over to our event, which is really a good thing. And moving forward, almost in conclusion, The good thing that's happening now is a 6 to 7 month process of an application with the Suffolk County Health Department finally was approved. So that allowing us now to move forward. We're going before the all the different boards to get approvals for setbacks, et cetera. But before I do that, also on March of 2015, we also have, I wasn't trying to, that's what the media is not here, so maybe I can say this. We got approved by the planning board of a piece of property that's being donated to us from Suffolk County National Bank. And we're really, really excited about that. And we got a couple of emails from Frank Iser saying that it's all ready to go, Rick. So we're going to, I think he's going to forward to you. I don't know if he has already or not. But I'm really.
The last email I had said that the bank officer who will be signing the deed is away.
Right.
I think he's due back next week, so we should have a signed deed before the
24th.
next Board of Trustees meeting, so we can put a resolution on the agenda to accept that deed.
Great, great.
Just to let everybody know that over by the museum, there are actually 3 pieces of property. So the southern piece of property is actually property that's owned by the Village of Southampton and was acquired years ago. The middle piece is actually where the museum physical structure is, which was purchased with Community Preservation Fund's money. And then the northern piece is actually a piece of property that was owned by Suffolk County National Bank, which separates which is split by the drive that goes up towards the nursing home. It's an empty piece of property. It was really neglected, and so with the 3 pieces together, it allows some opportunity for parking and growth on the property and improvements of the structure. So it's a very important component. So we're very thankful that Suffolk County National Bank has worked with us over the years to try to bring this to some level of resolution, and it's going to be a big benefit to the village and the museum also.
So these funds that we're getting is also going to help because the CSBG monies are limited and restricted to certain things. So this money will help us getting like handicap ramps and et cetera like that. So thank you for your continued support.
Okay, thanks, Brenda. Anyone else from the public would like to make comments about the community development program or request?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Okay.
Thank you.
So
We're out. We stayed for your presentation, Brenda.
that's good. That's good. It's okay. So I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay. Okay.
Okay, we have 2 communications to the board, one from Wayne Miller. I'm very concerned about the safety of residents on Somerset Avenue and the surrounding vicinity. Since we became homeowners, 24 Somerset, in 2012, we have seen a substantial increase in traffic on our street. Even more troubling has been the concurrent increase in the speed of the cars. Much of the new car traffic is due to residents moving into the more than 70 units at Bishop's Pond. There's also additional foot traffic in the area as the residents leave the development for walks. Given these increases in traffic, a speed limit of 30 miles an hour on Somerset is too fast and needs to be reduced to 25 miles per hour, as many village roads already are. In addition, a speed bump needs to be installed at the dangerous blind curve closest to Hill Street, see photo below. This curve is filled with trees and hedges and impossible to see around. There is no sidewalk, so pedestrians and cyclists are in particular risk, as are cars turning into and out of driveways on either side of the curve like ours. Cars should be slowing down around the curve, not picking up speed, as is the case now. It's only a matter of time before there's an accident and someone gets hurt. As discussed, I'm sending this email so you can address this issue at the next village trustee meeting. I live in New York City during the week. We'll be glad to come to speak to you and the trustees about this pressing issue. In summary, my recommendation is to reduce the speed limit to 25 miles an hour on Somerset and install a speed bump at the blind curve closest to Hill Street. I look forward to talking to you over the next meeting. Thank you, Wayne Miller.
We cannot install a speed bump on a public road. So I just wanted to,
Yeah, and I told him there's a limit on
Yeah.
how many streets we can have at 25 miles an hour.
so we'll have to look at,
I'll speak to Tom on it.
Steve, I sent you an email, I think, and my question was, why are we not allowed to make the entire village 25 miles an hour?
I believe it's a state
And
law that.
Is it a
this
state
limit-
law, is it
The state law provides for you know, in general, a maximum speed limit of 30 miles per hour. You have authority under the state law on selected roads to reduce the speed limit from 30 to 25. There are a few roads in the village, I don't remember what they are, but they're in the village code, which have 25 mile per hour speed limits. You could not do all roads in the village at 25 miles per hour. That's not allowed by state law. So you have to be careful with these things. The ones where you have 25 miles per hour now, I think there were specific reasons that distinguish those streets from streets in general, which caused you to make them 25. Whether Somerset Avenue is different in, you know, is distinguishable from other streets, which are now 30, or whether if you granted this, it would lead to piecemeal requests to make other streets in the village 25 miles per hour also. You got to be careful with that.
It just seems to be my rationale that as our village becomes greater and greater density, more traffic, that 25 mile an hour village-wide is more than reasonable.
It might be, but it's not,
Yeah.
state law doesn't give you that authority.
Is there a percentage or something? I mean, suppose you had 90 streets and you made 89 of them 25 and 130. I mean, are you, I'm just,
There's nothing in the state law that is that concrete or specific. Obvious, if you made 89 of 90 streets 25 miles per hour, that would smell of a general village speed limit of 25 rather than 30. And I don't think it would survive a challenge. Whether people would challenge it or not, I don't know. But I don't know that you
Just
can
wondering
do this
where they draw the line.
piecemeal. I would think you would, if you were thinking about making this street 25, before you did that, you ought to take a look in general at the limited number of streets that are 25 and the other streets that are 30, and then think about, you know, a plan that would make sense. I don't know that it would be wise to start doing it on individual requests.
Right.
I mean, an individual request can be a basis for you to start looking at this, but I'd be careful with just doing it without being in a position where you have a rational plan for what's 30 and what's 25.
I see this also as a cut-through, another cut-through.
Well, that's
And I'm not talking
yeah.
about necessarily Bishop's Pond, but it does lead to County Road 39.
Yeah.
And I see this as a cut-through once again, which brings us back to our lovely little supermarket application that's in.
Well,
In
you
the
might-
town,
You could
but-
take
but-
a look at, you know, the streets that in the village that you view as having increased traffic because of cut-throughs,
Right,
and look at all of those streets. You know, I'm not saying you can't do this, but
Right.
if the basis is that it's a cut-through, and you do it for Somerset, but not for other streets that have the same situation, you know, I don't know if that would make sense, so you might want to look at.
just find it hard-
What's the little one that runs off of Somerset? You kind of have to, then you'd have to consider that one too.
well, that whole
And then-
neighborhood, but I
McGee,
find it hard
I
to
mean-
believe you could get even to 30 miles an hour in there. I'm sure there's somebody
Yeah.
that would probably do it, but it's like a circle in there.
Yeah, it is.
So how do you get,
Unless
fly
you're doing
around there?
four-wheel
30
drifts.
miles an hour is pretty fast if you're in a car. I mean, and I don't know how you could do it in there. But,
Well, I think we should take a look at all
Yeah.
our through streets, you know, Prospect,
I think it's
McGee.
just more
I
trying
mean,
to.
White Street.
my biggest concern is that whole area over there. And that's been my reason for being so against the supermarket, because the supermarket's in the wrong location. And it's, as when the chief was here and we talked about how traffic now on McGee is backing up to the railroad tracks. I mean, how will anyone get to that supermarket? They can't turn left on the highway. They can't cut across a line of traffic that goes down to the railroad tracks. They can't sit there. The minute they have to sit there for 20 minutes to get to the railroad tracks or to get to the entrance of that supermarket, that's it. They're going to go to Hampton Bays, they're going to go to Stop and Shop, or they're going to go to Bridgehampton. So it's the dumbest thing, and I just can't even believe they're considering it.
So let's go back to the original.
I don't mind, I'll say
That's
that
okay.
over and
That's
over
okay.
and
That's
over
okay.
again.
Talk
because-
about
Well, I
streets
think,
and corners.
no, I
and-
mean, I think
Circles.
I had no idea she felt this.
Yeah, right.
Steve, what I'd like to do is, if we can get Gary to print us out a larger map of the village, and then showing all the streets, and then we'll go through and highlight where we're at 25 miles an hour.
Okay.
And then what we can do is then look at that map and look at at areas that we know that are cut-throughs.
Yep.
And then go back and readjust some speed limits around them. I mean,
Somebody's
It
kindling.
needs to
we-
be done, it
like-
really
Like
does.
my street, it's not a cut-through. you
No,
know?
but McGee Street
But
is.
McGee Street is.
Yep.
So,
White
what I,
Street
Brenda?
is.
Brenda,
That's
somebody,
Linda's.
Left their
Whose is
Kindle?
Linda Gesford.
Oh, Lindy's, okay.
oh, okay.
so we'll, if we can get that map and then just put it in my
Sure.
office, and then everybody
problem.
can come through and look at it and say these are areas that we want to do.
Yeah, because besides the thought that there could be that supermarket over there that will increase 6,000 to 12,000 cars going through that neighborhood, we really have a problem. And the problem is County Road 39, people are realizing they can get off it, find their way through any one of these little
Oh, I know.
streets and not have to sit there
I
in
mean,
that bottleneck.
I see it because it backs all the way up to where my neighborhood.
I know.
It's Moses, and Mike sees it in front of his house all the time.
Right.
Prospect
No,
Street,
Prospect's
back up
crazy.
all the way to Seasons.
I
Yeah.
know. Right.
You know, I mean, at certain hours they do.
Right.
But it's still, if there's any way we can deter using the, residential streets as cut-throughs, we really need to take a close
Yeah.
look.
Right.
I agree. So, I mean, the only way to do that is by master planning 39 to improve the traffic flow there, and it's, with the light at the Sunoco station, it's never gonna, the wait times on that are,
Yes, but if
Significant.
you change that, then it backs up even further
Oh, I
on the
know.
highway.
Yeah, it does.
yeah, oh, I
Yeah.
know.
And a lot of the streets they're using as cut-throughs don't have sidewalks.
Right.
Right.
And it's just
And
a
then if you're heading
question of-
east and you want to go on to Sandy Hollow to
I
head
was just
further
about to
east,
say, that is a huge backup in that.
that's a huge backup. Now we're going to have a turning lane to get into McGee to go to the new supermarket should it go through. How do you do that? You can't do it.
You can't.
And their traffic study didn't really bring any of that out. The
Oh.
only thing they said was, and we're going back to this again, sorry, but the only thing that they said was, if you have 12,000 people going to the supermarket, well, does not mean that there are more cars on the road because they're going to one of the other supermarkets. That's true. However, it means that we have those cars there, and that's where we don't want them.
Right.
So that argument is gone, and I can't believe the town has bought that.
Yeah. So our question is, do we
Yeah.
want them going to that supermarket at 25 miles an hour or 30?
How about 15? How about
We'll
15?
declare the whole village a school zone.
There you go.
So, all right.
20.
So if we can get Gary to print that out,
No
we
problem.
can plot it all out, and then we'll make some strategic decisions on what we want to do there.
Right.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Item 30 is from the Hispanic Apostolate, Apostolate of South.
Yeah, there you
On
go.
behalf of the, I'm trying to do the Polish way, and I just couldn't get it out.
Yeah,
Put a ski on it, you might have said it a little
There
better.
you go.
too many vowels.
On behalf of the Hispanic community, I would like to thank the Village of Southampton for the cooperation and assistance you have extended to us in the past years during our activities. Again, this year, we are planning to celebrate the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe on Saturday, December 12th. As in past years, we hope to have 2 outdoor activities on that day. One run with the torch, approximately from 3 to 4 p.m., This activity consists of runners carrying a torch, followed by a bus and several other vehicles. We'll begin at Red Creek Park in North Hampton Bays and will end at Sacred Hearts of Jesus and Mary Church, 168 Hill Street in Southampton. I've already contacted the town of Southampton for the portion of the run outside the village boundaries. In the past, the town police have accompanied us from Red Creek to the Southampton village line. We request police accompanying from the village line to Sacred Hearts Church. Item 2, procession from Agawam Park to Sacred Hearts of Jesus and Mary Church from 6:30 to 7 o'clock p.m. This activity is a walking procession of approximately 200 people from the park to the church at 168 Hill Street. The past few years, this procession was done on the sidewalk. This has created some problems. The low-hanging tree limbs are difficult to maneuver around with the statue which is being carried. The number of participants is too great to expect them to stay only on the sidewalk. They walk on the grass where it is dark and the ground is uneven. This year, we would like to return to walking the short distance in the street from Pond Lane to Sacred Hearts of Jesus and Mary Church. Again, we request police accompaniment for the procession. Thank you in advance for your help. Reverend Stephen Grazio.
So they're wanting to walk on the street from Agawam Park to the church. My concern is purely about the movie theater area, the diagonal parking in that area. And I would prefer that they went up Culver Street and then
Avoid that
down.
intersection.
Yeah.
What did they do the first time out? Did they go up Hill Street?
They used to go up Hill Street years ago.
And then we
I don't
made
know how
them-
long
yeah.
ago. I just know I've seen them do
Right.
it, but
No,
it
it was a
might have
while
been
ago.
15 years
Yeah.
ago.
And then what are we making them do now, or last time?
Well, what the
On the
request is to be on in the street instead of on the sidewalk from the church to Agawam Park, right?
Go from Agawam to the church.
To the
From
church.
From Agawam to the
from-
church.
So we're making them use the sidewalk now, they want to get back in the road.
So,
Saturday night in front of the movie
Yeah,
theater.
so, that's,
Go through
that's,
Culver to First Neck.
that's my concern, is it's purely diagonal parking on there.
Right.
And the volume of traffic that makes that turn and the people pulling it. So if there's a way for them to do that, so.
If they come up
low
First
hanging-
Neck, they don't have that far to go on Hill to the church.
Right.
No.
Correct.
Yeah,
And they can probably do that on a sidewalk.
Right.
Because it's
yeah.
Oh,
I
they're
agree
talking about
with you on
they're
that.
talking about the low limbs on the sidewalk, I know, it was for the,
Well, unless they went on the sidewalk, on the other side of the theater, if they came up on the sidewalk and then right there at First Neck went out into the street there. I think they like being seen.
Hill Street.
You know, Hill Street, there's visibility for
Right.
them.
Well, my concern not only is about the diagonal parking, but also if they're asking for a police escort to go on the
Right.
street. So they would have to be on the
going against
north
traffic, too.
side
Right.
of Hill Street.
So you're crossing twice.
So they're crossing twice. So,
Well, wouldn't you close Hill Street while they're walking up there?
no, that's
messy, did they?
not on a Saturday from, 6:30 to 7.
Well, then I don't see how this could happen. I think they have to be on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no way. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
have them walking on the side of the road.
Yeah, not at nighttime.
No.
Going against the traffic, too.
Yeah,
Mm.
I just,
That's 'cause it's
I just,
What's the average, how many people do we have doing it, do you know?
200,
Saying
it
about
says right
200
here.
people.
yeah,
It's a lot of people.
it's a lot of, it's grown significantly over the years.
But
No.
if there's two abreast, so then it's 100 deep.
They're not,
What?
they're wide,
No, but I'm saying on the
Yeah.
sidewalk, they would have to be that
right,
way.
yeah. So, why don't we approve this, except for on the street?
Mhm.
And then, let's have a conversation with
Okay.
the Reverend.
And I would still probably gear them towards Culver to First Neck anyway.
Yeah, because
Stay on the sidewalk on
I
Hill.
really have some real safety concerns about, the time of day. There's no, it's dark out.
I agree.
But
And
using
that,
Culver, you'd be essentially closing that down too, so. just-
Yeah,
I don't know, too.
yeah,
'Cause
but
you'd
it's,
be which, fine, but
That's
just
it'll be a
let
very short,
homeowners
it's
know.
a short, it's really a short period of time, when they,
It's not a big distance.
yeah, it's
Right.
not that great of a distance, but, So let's have a
Okay.
conversation with him about
Yep.
that, because I'm just really concerned about safety of the people
Absolutely.
marching there. So,
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to approve part one of his letter dated October 23rd.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And we'll continue the discussion on part two.
Yeah.
Okay. Resolutions, item one, resolved that the reading of the minutes for the work session of October 20th, 2015 be dispensed with, and those minutes be accepted as filed by the village administrator, and the actions taken at that meeting be and hereby are ratified and approved. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolved that the claims for the warrants dated November 12th, 2015, totaling $938,320.73. Warrant 8 General Fund, $5,870. Warrant 6 Trust Fund, $76,570.25. Warrant 6 Capital Reserve Fund and village payrolls for the period from October 29th, 2015 to November 12th, 2015 be ordered and approved. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second?
Discussion. Page 2, Bartlett Tree Experts, the annual maintenance on the beech tree on Hill Street, $1,314. Andrea Bellucci, ambulance medical reimbursement, $1,000. Bennett and Reed, revisions to our cell code, $1,620. Page 3, CSE Employee Benefit Fund, November premium, $24,794.44. Page 4, Cast Productions, videotaping services for October, $1,817.60. C&G General Contracting, roof repair at the Historical Museum, $5,200. 5, Candace Clanahan, stenography services for the planning boards, $1,110. Coastal Fire Systems, fire supplies, $1,876, and Coastal Fire Systems protective gear for the fire department, $12,259.14. Page 6, Richard Depreciates, Esquire, legal services for 40 Meadow Lane, $4,000. 3 payments to Eberhard Nurseries for trees, $2,835, $1,080, and $2,025. Page 7, EMT Governmental Accounting Services for October, $1,389.38. Firematic Supply, ladder truck repair, $4,971.71. Fulham Service Division, topsoil for the Parks Department, $3,960. Page 8, General Code Publishers, code update, $1,469.38. Page 9, Grodzki Mower Services, Parks Repairs, $1,098. Hampton IT Experts for Building Inspector, $1,785, and the Village Clerk's Office, $4,681. Hampton Truck and Auto Parts, going on to page 10. Parts for the garage, $1,070.85. Hampton's Appraisal, appraisal for 333 North Main Street, $2,500. Page 11, Island Biogreens, compost for the Parks Department, $1,480. Page 12, Johnson Electrical Construction Corp., 2 payments. The first one, $1,350 for traffic signals, and $1,166.29 for the speed sign repair on Hampton Road. Johnson Supply, HVAC unit for the sign shop, $1,427.65. Page 13, Land, Air, Water, Environmental Services for the Halsey Neck Culvert, $3,205. Mayday Communications, $1,657.50. Antenna for the Police Department. Page 14, Mayday Communications, radios for the Police Department, $1,040. James McWilliams, Fire Department Volunteer Medical Reimbursement, $1,000. Messiano Consulting, grant writing services through the end of October, $5,925. Moore Medical Corporation, ambulance supplies, $4,519.82. Morgan Auto Supply, flowing on to page 15, $3,151.28. Parts for the garage. MTC Security, door entry upgrade for the fire department, $5,201.32. Nassau Diagnostics, fire department physicals, $13,600. Page 16, National Grid for the fire department, $3,331.07. Nelson Pope and Voorhees, 3 payments for the planning board, $1,194, $1,137.50, and $1,137.50 again. Page 17, Norsec and Son, October carting for the highway department, $4,352. Page 18, Otis Ford, parts of the garage, $1,638.65. Page 19, Pine Barrens Printing, printing and purchase orders, $1,659.92. Page 20, 2 payments to PSEG Long Island Collection Services, one for streetlights, $6,687.81, and for the fire department, $2,996.60. Page 21, Robinson Esquires, Pine versus ARB, $10,476 for legal fees. Bunch of payments to Rosemar Construction for paving on Gin Lane, $34,187.11. Ox Pasture, $63,067.43. Post Crossing, $29,507.60. Lewis Street, $65,962.84. Toilsome, $45,734.51. Edwards Lane, $30,755.82. Hill Street, $379,560. Hill Street again on page 22, $52,025.50. Page 23, Sprague Operating Reserve, 3,000 gallons of gasoline, $4,377.90. Strategic Safety Dynamics, Fire Department gas meter accessories, $1,253.80. TJ's transmission, rebuild the transmission on one of the trucks for the garage, $2,812.56. Press Newspaper Group, the Leaf Pickup Ad, $1,196. Page 24, Vehicle Tracking Solutions, GPS for October, $1,055.56. Verizon telephone bill for October, $3,746.48. Page 26, Wayne Scott Sand and Gravel, carting and screen sand for the Highway Department, $2,148.60. And page 27, Roy Wines, Fire Department medical reimbursement, $1,000. Trust warrant, James Lynch irrigation for the soccer field at Down Stanley Park, $5,870. And then we have the capital reserve warrant, Motorola Solutions, 2 payments for both for radios and charges for the fire department, $13,005 and $44,200. SCC Construction Management Group for the ambulance barn, $8,500, and Stock Architecture for the ambulance barn, $10,865.25. Further discussion?
Actually, I just wanted to say that the guys did a great job paving. And getting that, I think, Bill, you did a nice job working with the highway department to get all that stuff done. And there was some issues around Hill Street and lining of Hill Street, but he did a good job stepping.
Spotting.
Yeah, well, I just want to thank you
Yeah.
for that and doing that. So it's got a lot of
The
compliments and
village
stuff.
for spending all the money they spend on our roads.
Well, it's important because, it's a reflection of our community and, see the damage to vehicles and it's important that we
Construction's important.
continue to invest in infrastructure. But
Right.
nice job there with the highway department and everything,
All in favor?
so. Aye.
Aye.
All right, item 3, resolve that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the following individuals as new members of the SVDA, Inc. Ariel Tello, Lindsay Tello, Louis Tello, Michael Jacobs. Have a motion?
Make the motion?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves a salary increase for Jennifer Dubnosky from $25 an hour to $27 an hour for her increased responsibilities as the controlled substance agent. Can I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
How'd you say that name?
Dubonsky.
Okay.
Did I get that right?
Hey.
She's replacing somebody that's taking care of the controlled substances, who's working on another situation. All in favor?
Aye.
Actually, Rich, did you want to expand on
Yeah, I mean,
the
just-
ambulance and
Yeah, because as you're pointing out, when, because somebody has to be trained, to the meds and the controls, medications. So that's an increased role, it's increased responsibility, so for that, we just give a little more for that person. It's one person, somebody who did it, we've had several people throughout, they move on to do different reasons, so that's why she is now taking on that responsibility, she's trained in that area, and so we just give her a couple extra bucks to do that. So it's more time involved to do it after every shift, in the beginning of the shift.
actually having the controlled substance and narcotics to be able to administer narcotics on the scene actually improves the quality of the services that are provided.
Correct, we don't have to call out for mutual aid, we have it right there at our disposal, as opposed to having to call in outside agencies who have that at their disposal. So, again, it's a very time-saving, literally life and time-saving
Yeah.
advantage.
It's a great initiative that they undertook several years ago, and it's been a real lifesaver. actually,
Literally,
yeah.
figuratively, literally,
Yeah.
yes.
It's exactly so. Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the following payments from the Capital Reserve Fund, subject to permissive referendum. Motorola Solutions, $57,205 from the Fire Equipment Reserve. SCC Construction Management, $8,500 from the Facilities Reserve. And Stott Architecture, $10,865.25 from the Facilities Reserve. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Right.
Discussion items. If you want to take the first one, assignment of the Cablevision franchise agreement?
Yes, I asked Steve to put this on the agenda, not for any real discussion tonight, but to make you aware of the application, and also so that the public would be aware of it. This has to do with our Cablevision franchise, and the franchisee under our franchise agreement is CSC Acquisition New York, Inc. That is not changing, but indirect control of that franchisee is changing or is proposed to be changed. An entity called Altice NV is indirectly acquiring a controlling interest of the corporation that owns the franchisee. So there's a merger and other aspects to it, but the net result is that this new entity, Altice NV, will be in control of the franchisee, and under state law and under our franchise agreement, before that can happen, they need to get approval from the Village Board of Trustees. I think they also need approval from the State Public Service Commission, et cetera. We've received a thick booklet, which is the application asking for your approval. The copy you
I
gave
do
me
have
is-
3 copies, so if anybody wants to
Yeah.
take one for the weekend and read through it.
If anybody wants to look at it,
A lot of whereas.
it's pretty boring reading. I mean, it
Love
gives
it.
all the no, I skimmed it just to find out what was going on. But it's a big packet of information about this corporate transaction and who Altice NV is and what their financial and other capabilities are, et cetera, et cetera. It's not something that I have any expertise on, nor I'd be surprised if you guys have any expertise on it either. But we need to, we don't even have to act on it under federal law. If we don't act within 120 days, it's deemed approved by us. They're looking for an approval quicker than having the 120 days go by. I have a couple of questions that I need to call Cablevision's attorney to get answers to, and then we can decide whether, how we want to proceed, whether we want to ask for any assistance from the State Public Service Commission. Steve could also try to find out. They probably made a similar application to the town of Southampton, although I don't know that.
They did to every municipality.
I think they've done every municipality that Cablevision, has a franchise agreement with. So maybe you might want to talk to the town and see if they've looked at this and how they're reacting to it. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I wanted you to be aware of it and the public to be aware that your approval has been requested. And we don't need to do anything further tonight.
Okay.
And I'll call their,
I gave you the,
yeah,
the number.
I'll call the Cablevision's attorney to get answers to a couple of my questions, and I'll report that back to Steve, and then we can figure out where we want to go with this.
So that is with regards to Channel 22, is that correct? Or just,
Well, it's Cablevision franchise, which basically is gives them a right of way to put on our.
It's the whole Cablevision system.
oh, okay,
Yeah, this
I'm
is-
totally lost here. I thought this had to do with,
No, it's the whole Cablevision system.
okay.
We have a franchise agreement with Cablevision, which basically says to Cablevision, you have the right to install a utility on our right-of-ways.
Okay,
And for that, there's a percentage of money that the village receives. All municipalities do, and we use those monies in different ways, and part of that, we give money to the town to help operate Channel 22.
Okay. At the moment, this is not asking for any changes to our franchise agreement. It's just a change of control that has to be approved. before too long, you'll probably get a request from somebody, for renewal of the existing franchise agreement, because that expires
February 16th,
sometime in February, I think, of next year.
February 28th, 2016.
And, so there may end up being negotiations over renewal and whether we want to change any of the terms that are in there, or whether they ask for any changes to the terms. But that's a whole different matter. This matter that's before us now simply involves who's going to control it, the entity.
Any other questions? Okay.
Okay, item 2 is, Mike, Chief Camp had dropped this off to me tonight. These are proposed changes to the fire department bylaws. We're not looking to do anything tonight, just, I don't know if you guys seen them. I know some of you have, some not, but if you just review those, and then we'll keep this on for the 24th, and do a resolution to adopt it. It's basically just defining different categories of members.
There was two things that we wanted to keep in mind is that, one, we have the medical reimbursement component to it. So, part of that is defining who a member in good standing is. And so from an auditing standpoint, we want to make sure that individuals in the fire department who are applying for the medical reimbursement are A, off probation, and so we had defined probation better, and then B, a member in good standing in order to receive that benefit right there. And there were certain parts of the bylaws that really weren't, kind of vague.
Vague
And
areas,
so,
yeah.
and so we asked them to go back and the bylaw committee to reevaluate the bylaws to look, because the idea really wasn't to hurt the person who's got, 40 years in the fire department, but doesn't have the ability to be an interior firefighter. But yet there's certain minimum requirements from an auditing standpoint that they have to do, a physical, and they have to do the airborne blood pathogens training to make sure that that's all up to date. So we just we asked the chief to go back to the bylaw committee to redefine that. And Rich, anything else you wanted to add?
No, you covered it all, boss. Yeah, that was basically just clearing up some ambiguities and defining some areas.
So,
In light of what you just said.
So I do have to thank the chief and the committees and each one of the departments for actually going back and being very proactive on this. It, really helps the village from an auditing standpoint, and it helps the fire department also. So I think they did a good job. So when you read this and compare what the changes are, I think they're very well thought out. Okay.
Okay, we'll see.
All right, those are the discussion items. We have comments from the board members here. Trustee Yaz.
Sure. I want to thank everybody out there for this little endeavor that I was involved in for the past 6 months outside of the village here. I thank everyone for their support, the support for me and for my family. A lot of kind words of support. A lot of good, met a lot of good people, a lot of great community, people in this community, a lot of which I already knew, and I met a lot more over the past several months. So it was an honor and a privilege to again go on that journey, to go a little beyond our village here. I do thank everybody up here for your kind words of support and support in other ways. It's very humbling. It's very meant a lot for everybody. So again, it was a good journey. I learned a lot, and I appreciate the support of everybody out there and sitting up here and in this room. You guys have stuck with me for a little while longer. You guys and you guys. So again, thank you. And also, Mayor, I'd like to thank you for honoring and recognizing my dad, Chet Yastrzemski, yesterday at the Veterans service we had in the village for his service in World War II in the European theater. It was a great gift for him because he also turned 90 this past Sunday. So it was one hell of a birthday gift, if you will, that nobody else could have given him. So I thank you for doing that, Mayor.
That's great.
So, and I thank all veterans, obviously, for what they've done. So that's all I got.
Mike.
Well, to continue on that, and with the passing of Veterans Day, I would like to send out a sincere thank you to all the men and women that have served and those that are presently serving. And then there's those that gave the ultimate sacrifice. And I just want to say that internally, we will always remember you and we will never forget you.
Thanks, Mike. Nancy?
I really don't even know what to say after all of that. I'd like to thank Rich for going out. I think it was very brave, and I think you did great.
Thank you.
Yeah, considering the fact that Jay Schneiderman was brought into the whole thing.
Yeah, that wasn't my original.
No, I don't think anyone
Opponent, no.
expected that. So it's going to be an interesting year over there, I think. And I just want to say, I hope that the public, and especially the village people who are concerned about the supermarket, and I don't mean to go back to that, but I do mean to go back to that, are
No,
aware.
I think it's important. that you
Yeah,
never
I mean,
let it-
are aware that it's moving forward. And I'm really counting on the county to deny it. And I think we, as citizens of this community, need to put pressure on the county to say that there's just no way that this will work in that location. It's going to create havoc on that road, a road that is already impossible, and it's going to create a route of choice through our village that is wrong, and through our little side streets where people live and have children and are 30 to 35 feet from the road. The fact that they could consider doing it is mind-boggling to me. So I'm just asking everyone out there to keep an eye on this and to really voice your opinion that you don't want it. Yes, I know that it would be nice to have a bigger supermarket, but not there. And maybe we can work together to figure out another place, but just not there. And that's all I want to say.
Okay. Bill?
Rich, congratulations for your effort. Boy, that's a journey of 1,000 nights, and I congratulate you on even getting into it.
Right.
Most people don't ever know what a big elect. We have our little toy elections here in the village, and they don't compare to what you just went through. And
No.
Well,
of
thank you,
course,
Bill.
I can't help but smile.
Thank you.
But, second is pretty good for us.
Thank you
And,
again.
other than that, hope we get the lines painted soon on the various streets. It's supposedly in the works, but probably snow will fall and it'll be too cold, so. And I will tell you one thing. I went to last year's Our Lady of Guadalupe event in our church. It was the darndest thing I have ever seen. And I'm going to suggest to them that they videotape it. When they come in this church, they have this bunch of musicians, and no church in the state of New York has ever heard music like that when they come in with trumpets and bones, and they just going with everything all at once. And it's absolutely the most edifying and exciting thing I've ever seen. So it's really something to see. They've got vitality, and no church around here ever saw that kind of music, but it was something special. Anyhow, other than that,
Great.
I've been trying to persuade our church to put that statue in one of the corners so that their rather substantial Hispanic group would have something that would make them feel more at home. And we'll see if I ever succeed.
All right. Yeah, well, okay. Steve, the Planning Commission last week had made a recommendation on the hiring of the consultant for the,
Yes, yeah, Paul just said that to me,
okay,
say, like 5:30-ish range or whatever.
okay, because I'd like to,
You want me to bring that in? I can-
yeah,
I
let's
can-
do that,
Sure,
because I
absolutely.
really want to get moving on
Yeah.
this thing. I just realized that as I'm looking at that stuff, so. while he's doing that, let me, Rich, I just tell you, I have to say that, you know, it's a bittersweet for me, because I would love to have seen you sitting over there, but I'm glad you're sitting here with us. So you've done a lot of really good stuff, and I think you would have been a hell of a town supervisor. And I'm glad I put my support and why this whole board was behind you and stuff. So, but yeah, the village is lucky and unlucky, you know. Lucky that you're still here, and unlucky that you're not sitting at the town level, because that would have been a great bonus to the village of Southampton. It
Well, the
really would
village
have been.
wants you.
Yeah, so, the second piece is, it was truly an honor to be able to recognize your father yesterday at Veterans Day. At 90 years old, the guy who rides his bike all over the place, and he had a, you know, you don't know about Chet. Chet, in his junior year in high school, dropped out of school to join the Army, went over and fought in Europe and in Germany, and over there meeting the Russians at the the River Elbe, and he was, and then came back here and served this community in the police department, up to being the acting chief for a couple of years, and really, it was a great honor to be able to recognize him for everything that he did. Also, at I want to thank Southampton High School Band and also the Southampton High School Choir for coming and performing. You know, the rain yesterday, historically we have it outside of Veterans Hall and we do the parade, but because of the rain, it actually created a more intimate setting inside the cultural center.
It worked out nice, actually.
And I tell you what, it was actually fantastic. And we had, every seat was full, and we had people standing there, and it was nice to see, and that we and so it was a great, really a nice ceremony. Just on a couple of things here. The Friday after Thanksgiving is the light parade and the fire trucks and the tree lighting. It'll be Saturday, November 28th at 4:30. And then another thing is that we're going to be doing a public presentation to the Planning Commission on the sewage treatment plant. And is being tentatively scheduled for Thursday, December 3rd at the Planning Commission meeting at 5 o'clock. We might need to look at another space to do this at.
Yeah, and he wants me
we're
to,
gonna do.
we'll run an ad on it also.
Yeah, we'll run an ad on it, and I want to do big outreach to property owners inside the village. There's been a lot of work on this, so they're going to take feedback from the Planning Commission, what they hear, and hopefully in January we'll be coming to this board, probably the work session in January, to come and do a presentation to us. There are going to be steps that we have to take, and some resolutions that have to be done in reference to the formation of the sewage district and taking the next steps to make this happen. So what I'll tell you is that, inside the district is about 135,000 gallons per day of sewage that's dropped into our ground right now, which equates to about 450 parts of nitrogen that actually are impacting Lake Agawam. Just the treatment component of this will actually reduce that from 450 to 4.5, which will have a significant impact on the lake. That's just one of the bonuses around this. I think it's important that we have to get in and protect our drinking water. It's one of the most precious, it's one of the most valuable commodities we have on Long Island. And as the population grows and volume of waste increases, we have to take greater steps to protect our waterways and stuff. So this is as important of a topic as you'll see in the village. So I recommend that everybody everybody show up and become educated on this, because there is some bad information out there right now. As you can see, if you've been on Job's Lane, the stairs at 25 Job's Lane are being installed right now. They've opened that wall up, it looks nice. And then also the rotary clock got installed down by, today.
Where?
Who
Down,
put it today?
down by the restroom, they installed
great.
it and stuff, so, yeah. So it's actually in a really good spot,
That's a good location.
and, it's not,
Is it on the roadside of the, or on the other side
On the
of the?
lawn, isn't it?
it's on
You
the,
know where the
Walkway.
rest station sign
Yes.
was?
Yeah.
Walk
Right
path
there.
that
Right
goes to
They're
there.
moving that.
so it's actually, it's a good location.
Perfect location.
But it's not an overpowering location, and it's visible and stuff. So I think it's a good piece. The the supermarket component, as Nancy had touched on, the one thing about that location is that, not 6 months ago, the town just approved the County Road 39 corridor study, and the town board did. And in that study, it recommends that all the uses on County Road 39 are low-trip generators.
Right.
Here we are 6 months later, and they're looking to change zoning on a piece of property on County Road 39 with heavy backups, high volume of traffic, without even a supermarket there. And it's in direct contradiction to their own County Road 39 study, that, because you can't get a higher trip generator than a grocery store. That's it.
And I think that when originally the application was in and it was denied, and then it was coming back again, a lot of people said, well, how could you even consider this without finishing that study?
Right.
So they moved ahead as fast as they could on that study. So in one breath, they're saying one thing, and they're doing just the opposite.
Yeah, so it's really, that's why I think the county is gonna have the county planning commission, when they read that study and realize that they're asking for support on a zoning change. I think it's tough for them to actually vote in favor of that zoning change, just because of that study right there. And we all see
Well, I
that
hope
we
they all get it. A lot
Well-
of the members of that planning commission don't live near
Yeah.
here. I think there's only two people who are on the east end.
Yeah.
And it does affect them, because one of them is from East Hampton,
Yeah.
and we all know Sandy Hollow Road is
Yeah.
used to get out to East Hampton as well.
Yeah,
And then I think there's one other one, and I'm
she's
just
from
trying.
Sag Harbor.
Sag Harbor.
Yeah.
And
So,
she's upset, but the thing is, they have to convince everybody who sits there, and they should be able to do it.
yeah.
A road is not big enough. It's
Yeah.
not adequate as it is
Yeah.
now. And to add that to it is,
That's true. That's very, so,
One last thing,
Yeah.
Steve, would you be good enough to send, maybe all of us, certainly to me, an email when these meetings are being held?
Sure.
On the
Mhm.
sewage between that, so that I want to be there, and
Yeah.
I'm apt to.
well, it's the
But
meetings
that's
are
not what this
really,
is about.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
things
planning
like that.
commission meetings are the first Thursday of the month at 5 o'clock.
right.
And so, that's, and then the other one will be in front of us and stuff, so, but
You want to do
yeah.
this presentation in conjunction with the
No, the
regular
pres-
schedule, or you want to do a separate day?
Well, no, the presentation will be, what we're working on now is presentation at the planning commission.
Okay.
At the planning, it would be the same. I said to them, let's do it all at one shot there.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then they have
propose
to
to
come
show
in
what
and
you
do
wanna do, I
a,
suppose.
then they have to do a public presentation
Mhm.
here in front of us, because there's
Right.
resolutions that we have to follow.
Okay.
That's a while down, so, so one of the things we had challenged the planning commission to also is look at, lot coverage and, GFA studies, and we made changes in reference to, height of, homes, and, define a parking spot, and define the bedroom, and it did a setback change for, parking vehicles. So that was part of it. The other component was we looked at, we were trying to figure out how to really evaluate lot coverage. And so we went out on an RFP. We got quite a few individuals who submitted applications and proposals, and the one that actually came highly recommended from CMAC is Glennis Berry, and she actually lives on the North Fork. She's been involved with planning out here for a very long time. She actually was the least expensive of the lowest proposal. So it was actually so this is her proposal that she had submitted to the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission met last Thursday. They reviewed the different proposals. They made a recommendation that we engage Glennis here in Miss Berry for us to help do the studies and come up with the numbers, and then obviously we'll work with Rick to make changes to the village code as necessary. So unfortunately, Paul just got this tonight for everybody to review. I mean, if you guys are in a position, if you feel like that you would like to make the motion to support the Planning Commission's recommendation here and hire her tonight or not. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Well, they
I
reviewed
went
it.
to the meeting and I felt that after everyone spoke, they were most pleased with her. I think what separated her from some of the other applicants was that she has a very unique way of looking at an older village and preserving the antiquity of an older village. And I think that was very appealing to everybody who sat on the Planning Commission.
Well, she lives in an older village.
I know she
aren't you?
does, and she talked about block patterns and, and how she's worked with that. Everyone was extremely impressed, as opposed to some of the other people who seemed to understand development.
Right.
Her thought process was she's more interested in the architecture of how it will end up looking and working. And everybody liked that about her. I liked that about her. So,
Great. Well, I'm glad. Unfortunately, I was out of town when they were having the meeting, so I wasn't able to make that. So, anybody else have any comments?
Based on that and what I've read, a little bit I read about it, and if they're willing to stand behind her based on, certainly again, with what they write here and what Nancy said, I have no problem going ahead with their recommendation. She already worked for the Suffolk County Planning Commission, so she, that's what we were just referencing, so.
work with them.
So,
Great. Good. So I'm gonna make a motion to authorize the hiring of Studio AB Architects for the fee of $21,800 to form the study of the build conditions and the relationship with the planning regulations for the village in accordance with her letter dated October 2, 2015.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, great. I think that's a great move for us tonight, and I think that's a good step forward there. So I didn't have anything else to bring on, so
just want to compliment your new glasses, they look nice.
you like those? Yeah. I had to run to CVS right before
Nice glasses.
I know. You like? Well, I gotta find glasses that fit on this nose of mine is what I have to do, so.
It's great to have you back, isn't it?
I know it is, so I have to have glasses that I can adjust in here because the nose is crooked, so, so we've got a second public comment. Anybody from the public would like to speak? Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn to executive session for the purpose of discussing personnel matters involving village employees.
Second?
Second.
Favor?
Aye.